Welcome back to our channel, our homestead, and our shop, everyone. Today we're going to teach you a cool old-timey method on how to prevent corrosion on your leather sheaths and your knives. So let's get going. So this method is obviously useful for any tool that you keep in a leather sheath, like an axe. This is our marble small camp axe here. Leather will hold moisture against steel. So even if it's high carbon, which rusts really easily, or stainless, it's going to corrode and rust over time if you keep it in the leather sheath. There's a way to prevent that. Now there's a way to prevent that on the sheath and a way to prevent that on the tool itself, whether the knife, axe, whatever it may be. Hey, if you haven't done so already, go down below and hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button. We want you here with us all the time on our little East Texas homestead. We're doing some pretty cool videos here, and we want you to stick around. But now, let's get back to the video. So whether it's a high carbon steel like our marble camp axe here, or a stainless steel like our Buck 112 here, it's still going to corrode over time. Now the Buck has brass ends on it, and those have also corroded. So the first thing we're going to concentrate on is treating our sheath to stop that corrosion, and then we'll concentrate on treating the tool. So as you can see, this buck knife with the brass ends has some corrosion on it, and it's got this patina from the copper content within the brass, and it reacted with the leather sheath. You can see on the sheath itself where the knife was sitting, right there. You can see here that we've also got some corrosion from where our camp axe, our marble's camp axe, sat in this leather sheath that we did make. You can see that the marble's axe also has some rusting on the end right here where it has sat in the sheath for too long. So we've got three basic ingredients the old-timers used to use to prevent corrosion in their leather sheaths. One is beeswax, and we've got some nice beeswax pellets here. We've got some mineral oil, and in the past they did also use neat's foot oil. And also we've got a chopped up candle here, which is paraffin wax, which is petroleum based, so they used some of that. This mixture is not precise. However, we will utilize an 80-10-10 ratio on both of this. The amount of paraffin that you put in there really doesn't matter. You can use a 50-50 ratio if you like, but we found that 10% is perfect for this. In front of us, you can see we just got a boiling pan of water. I've got an old coffee can here, and I'm going to start to melt our paraffin and our beeswax together. Let's measure those out and get those melting. Then we're going to add our mineral oil. Like I said, this isn't precise, so we're just going to throw in, like I said, about 10% here and add our beeswax on top of that. That beeswax is going to break down or melt, much quicker than that paraffin. That's about good. We're actually going to take a little bit of the paraffin out. And that's about 10%. We're going to get it in our water here to start to melt. Just grab yourself a stick, you'll be all set. Give it a little stir as it starts to melt. So I'm sure everybody who's watching this video knows to be extremely careful around boiling water and wax. But in today's YouTube world, you gotta tell everybody every silly little thing. I'm not talking to you like a baby, but obviously, be careful. Now that we have our wax melted, we're going to add the mineral oil. You want to do this while it is still liquid, obviously, so it incorporates into the wax itself. So like I said, I'm not precise with this, but about a 10% ratio. So you can apply this in two different ways. You can apply it while hot with one of these small shop brushes, and that's actually what we're going to do. I just find it's easier and it spreads a little bit better. You can wait until it cools off completely and use your fingers and use it as a paste and rub it into the leather itself. But we're going to utilize one of these small, tiny shop brushes here and start to paint it on the inside of our leathers. If you find that it's starting to get a little too difficult to work with, you can obviously put this right back in your water and get it warmed up a little bit. So you obviously want to open the sheath up as far as possible so you can get every bit of just the sheath and get it soaking into the leather where it is going to come in contact with your steel on your knife or your axe. Once you've got it painted in there, you can just take your finger and start to massage it into the leather so it gets into all the crevices, all the cracks, and all the grain on the inside. Now let's talk about why we do this to our leather. Leather absorbs moisture and it holds it against our steel tool, our axe or knife in this case. And leather does absorb some moisture from the environment. Although it does dry out over time, it does still absorb some moisture from the environment and then transfers that and holds that against your tool, which is not good obviously for rusting or corrosion. Now corrosion can happen even more if your leather is a chrome tanned leather. So make sure that if you're going to do your own leather work, you find a vegetable tanned leather. They are much better for corrosion on your steel tools. Now this might look like a lot on the inside of here, but it's really important to prevent that corrosion and rust on your knives or axes. So additionally, we're going to treat our knives and axes apart from this to give that added extra layer of protection. Let's show you what we do for that. So that one is simple, friends. It's just the mineral oil. We're going to take a light coat of our mineral oil, and this happens to be a food grade mineral oil here, so you can use it on your kitchen utensils if needed. So we're just going to wipe a coat on the axe itself and then take the drier part and wipe it off, because the oil will also, although it does dry out, it has moisture in it, so you don't want a super thick coat on there. A thin coat is perfect. So that thin coat of mineral oil on either your knives or your axes or whatever tool it is you're keeping in your sheath is really important. So in today's video, we're not going to show you how to remove any rust or corrosion from your tools. That's another video, and it's easily done with vinegar and salt solution scrub, and it's pretty easy. But we are going to look at this knife. It's really special to me because it was my father's and he's no longer with us. He hasn't been with us for quite some time. And I did have it stored in its sheath in a special box that I have. He wore this on his hip every single day. So we're going to treat this sheath with that mixture. We're going to treat and put some extra mineral oil on here to prevent that thing from corroding again. Now there was one last and obvious way to prevent corrosion on your tools, on your knives or your axes or your tools, and that is to not store them in your leather sheaths. It's as simple as that. If you like to store them in the leather, make sure you take these preventative measures so that they do not rust or corrode. We hope this video was helpful for you in showing you how to prevent rust and corrosion on your heirloom knives and axes or other tools, and showing you how to preserve and treat your leather to prevent that. We thank you so much for being here. We want you here on a permanent basis. So hit that subscribe button down below and share this video on social media or with your friends if you think it's going to help them. Hit that like button, hit the bell notification if you subscribe to get all our updated videos. We do put out new videos every Tuesday. So thank you so much for being here. Have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.